Your life is almost comically brief. You will be dead and gone off of this planet in just 4,000 weeks, give or take a few, 850 months, and you will spend probably more than a third of those weeks, months, years, days, hours working. You'll spend approximate other third sleeping. And then what little is left will be divvied up between chores, commuting, family functions, things you don't really feel that passionate about, leaving us with this overwhelming feeling of dread regarding our own mortality, our own inability to get things done, this feeling of lack when it comes to attaining the accomplishments we set out to achieve when we were younger. We have FOMO, overwork, feeling overburdened, being burned out. And in this fast-paced hustle and bustle culture where there is never enough time to get these things done, what is the one thing we need more than anything else? Well, as contrary as it seems, perhaps the answer to a lot of these perplexing existential questions is actually to stop, pause, and do absolutely nothing. So hey guys, if we haven't met before, my name is Kalen. I'm an ecstatic life coach. I host this YouTube channel, I've written a couple books, and I work with people one-on-one around the world, help them come home to themselves. So a few months ago, I came across the very thoughtful and engaging book, 4,000 Weeks, which started to ask some of these questions, and then I followed it up right away with another book by Celeste Headlee, Do Nothing: How to Break Away from Overworking, Underdoing, and Underliving. And I don't know about you all, but these feelings of angst, this feeling of needing to do more, not getting enough done, not accomplishing enough, have been prevalent in my psyche even as a teenager. I can remember being 15 years old and having almost a veritable panic attack because I felt like I hadn't accomplished enough in my life. And that's so easy to feel in this culture where it seems like if you haven't had like some major hit or breakthrough or discovery or achievement, by the time you're 22, then you are over the hill and you've missed out. Social media has driven us to this place where we feel like we always have to be on, we always have to be doing something meaningful, we always have to be talking about what we're doing, we have to see what other people are doing and comparing notes. The FOMO is real. And then let's not even get into the fact that so many of us now are part of the hustle. The hustle. Gig culture, the idea that you have to be working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 100 hours a week, that you need to optimize and strategize and hone and become a living, breathing machine so that you can not just survive, but keep up to do what everyone else seems like they're doing, to do what it seems like everybody else is able to do effortlessly and easily. And why can't you work as much, and why can't you do as much, and why can't you be as productive? It is a veritable shit show how this world has become. And to be quite fair, this isn't anything new. Back during the Industrial Revolution, employers started to ask, how can we eke more working hours out of our employees? How can we get them to achieve and do more in the time we have them? They would even engage in such nefarious practices as setting the clocks to work at different rates so that people were actually there longer, that they would lie about start and stop time so that they could get more out of their workers. Time began to be something that was commodified, in that if you were wasting time, you weren't just wasting your own time, you were wasting other people's money, resources, that your time was now being owned by your employer. And this started to get us really messed up in here, really fucked up inside, because time is not a commodity. And in fact, the more you try to hold on to it, the more you try to ration it and squeeze more out of it, the quicker it dissipates. Our experience of time is relative. I don't know if you remember being a little kid, but do you recall how like a quarter in your school year felt like it took forever? Like spring break, even though it was only a week long, was like something to look forward to that you could languish in. Nowadays, for me, I don't even know where a week goes. I turn around and it's September when it was only April yesterday. And time just keeps speeding up faster and faster and faster. One of the things that Celeste addresses in this book is this hyperfixation on productivity, that we are supposed to be becoming more and more honed like machines to achieve more. And there is no mistaking the fact that people nowadays are suffering more anxiety, depression, burnout, lingering health conditions than ever before. We aren't meant to be working the way that we are. In fact, studies have shown that the ideal amount of work to be accomplished in a day is only somewhere between 2 to 5 hours. And then if you work more than that, you can't really do it at the same efficiency level. Like you really ought to be working less. And this is true. Some of the greatest minds, the greatest poets, inventors, scientists, researchers, artists would only work for a very short period of the day and then have the rest of the time to be idle. And I don't know about you, but I can remember being a little kid and hearing a phrase that went something like, idleness is the devil's playground. that being idle was something to be feared, something to be managed against. This goes back to the founding fathers of America. There was this Protestant work ethic that you were supposed to demonstrate your holiness by how much you work and how much you strive for the common good. Now, that wasn't a happy lot. The Protestant pilgrims were not known for being happy. They were not known for being joyful. They were not known for high quality of life. But this is an idea that has been inured in us. It has become part of our culture. It has become something that we have taken on full-heartedly. Capitalism, consumerism, do more, consume more. I mean, do you remember back in the day, philosophers, early 20th century philosophers and researchers and scientists said that in 60 years, 80 years, technology is improving to the point where people won't have to work as much, that they'll be able to have so much more leisure because of efficiency. Well, we didn't get that. And you know why? Because when we became more efficient, when technology became more efficient, instead of giving us fewer hours to work, employers said, well, make more during that time, produce more during that time. And the way they tricked us was consumerism. They said, hey, this shiny object that you don't really need and you didn't really want before, I'm going to create advertising that's going to make you need it. So you're going to want to work those few extra hours to make some more money so you can now buy this. And we found ourselves accumulating more and more and more and more crap that we don't need because we were being sold them through advertisements. I mean, at the end of the day, between the amount of time you're spending at work and the amount of time you're being sucked into these damn devices, which are engineered to steal your focus, to steal your mind's capacity to just be idle and to enjoy. And then also advertisements. Studies show that people see up to 7,000, even 10,000 brand images, pieces of advertisement in a single day. An ad is something that is meant to draw your focus out of the current moment and to become aware of something outside of yourself and to make you have an emotional connection with it. Advertisements are designed to destroy your peace. They're meant to hook you in and make you want something and think about something and desire something that you didn't think you ever cared about before. And these devices, damn! I mean, you don't need to read the studies to see how hard it is now for us to sit through a movie, to sit through a conversation, to just sit on the couch and watch the sky outside without reaching for our damn phones. I mean, even me, I teach meditation, I teach mindfulness. I have all the notifications on my phone for the most part turned off, except for phone calls and text messages. I have all the other apps silenced, and I still struggle to get through a 15 or 20 minute increment without checking something. It is not good for us. We are not happy, we are not healthy. And could it be that the solution to all of these things is as simple as learning to be idle, learning to not do shit, right? That thing that feels so fearsome, right? Because we're supposed to be productive, we're supposed to be achieving, we're supposed to be using this limited amount of time we have wisely. But I know for myself, when I get into a funk, like this was me last night, when I started to feel kind of like angsty and maybe a little listless and feeling frustrated with the state of things, I went and I sat on the couch. I tried not to check my phone, I just sat on the couch and I watched the world go by. And I dozed, I napped a little bit, I faded in and out of consciousness, and that's okay. But I just kind of let the world happen around me. And I mean, we can get into all the brain research around this, like how your subconscious is able to process things and build connections you didn't see before and clear out the clutter and make space and all this good stuff that happens when you're idle. But I wasn't even like meditating. I was just sitting and observing. I was just letting my mind wander. I was just experiencing the joy of being. And you know what? By the end of the evening, I felt different. I felt changed. I felt excited about life and things again in a way that I hadn't been feeling earlier that day or perhaps even the days before. Now, I'm a meditator through and through. It's something that I've invested years of work into. I lived in an ashram for 7 years, for goodness sake. And I think there's tremendous benefit in meditation, right? I meditate every morning without fail. And interestingly, I used to be very intense about like doing a specific practice. And now there are times where I just let my meditation be simple observance, not trying to do anything, not do a mantra, not do a visualization, but just witness, just be with myself. I mean, yes, meditation is great, but even just beyond that, allowing yourself to just sit on the porch and watch a starry sky. Go for a walk outside and don't have your earphones in. Don't be listening to a podcast or replying to emails, but just observe the walk around you. Observe your breath. Just be in your body as you move. Go do some forest bathing. Go take a nap. Naps are great, but not like a nap that's set with a timer and you only have a few minutes and then you have to get back to being productive, but a luxurious nap, one where you can just stay under the covers and just wiggle around for a little bit and take your time getting back up. You know, all these things we have now that help make our world more efficient. Dishwashing machines, microwaves, on-demand food delivery, Uber, all these things that are supposed to take the pain points out of living. we don't use that time to then relax and enjoy. We use it to fill it with more crap, more purchases, more work, more advertisements, more meaningless social media connections that don't actually nourish us. And I get the irony in me saying this as somebody who makes his living through social media, but these things are not our friends. These things are not doing us any good. And so this is my call to action for you. This is my challenge for you, for me, for all of us. How can we find a greater ability to stop doing and to start being? To allow ourselves to just be here, to be in a conversation, to be with a meal without having to check Facebook or check Instagram or watch a movie, but to just eat mindfully. Can we just be with our pets, to consciously give them some love and tickles and scratches behind the ears without thinking about work? Can we watch the traffic go by? Can we play cards even though it's not productive, or do something that doesn't lead to something greater? In a similar way, like I've had this dream of creating like a little gay crafting circle to have people over and come with your quilting or your embroidery or your knitting or your painting, and we'll just sit together and chat and share space before a fire and not get a lot accomplished. I want to invite you to join me in the pursuit of doing nothing. It sounds so antithetical to the way we live life. I know many of us have probably watched a video on productivity and how we can do more in the last hours, days, weeks. But what if we stop, slow down, and just let all that go? What if we realize life is going to be short no matter what we do? So how do we relish it? How do we enjoy these moments and really be present to its passing rather than stressed out, freaked out, and trying to do more? What if the secret has always been to just do less and let it be more meaningful? I hope you enjoyed these thoughts. If you do, please leave a comment, give it a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. I'd like to give a shout out to all my patrons. Thank you so much for your love and support. I couldn't do this without you. And thank you all for your attention. I'm Kalen. This is Ecstatic Self. Blessings to you.